There are occasions when we come across a drawing which misbehaves. It might be shutting down at irregular intervals and restarting, but it gets awkward, and that should not happen. One way to check whether your design needs some assistance is to say, this is an LCD file, a standard GCAD Plus drawing file, but I can go File and Save As, and in the drop list here we can go to DXF, and we'll just give it a name called Test, and I save it, and we get this warning. There's a DWG Direct Error General Modeling Failure. Now that does not normally happen with a well-behaved LCD file. The DXF format was developed by Autodesk, who publish AutoCAD, and it's an open standard. It's actually a text standard file format, and we produced our own version, and we can go GCAD Plus and we can write a DXF file out. And you remember that earlier one failed. So we'll call this one Test, and I'm going to put it in a folder called ODA in. So there's a test drawing there, and I'm going to use 2007 DXF format. So I'm going to save the drawing and then go File and Open again. And if I went to my folder that was called ODA, the new DXF file there is called Test. And we could open it up. Now here it is, and it's very similar in size to the earlier one. Blocks are moved across very nicely. So this one it conforms to the standard DXF file format, and all CAD developers use that as an alternative to their own file format. If we now say, seems a bit strange, doesn't it, say File and Save As, see if we can save this now as a DXF, and I'll call it Second Pass. Whoops. Second Pass. Now remember, this test failed before, and I think we tried writing it out again, and it failed. This time there was no warning, and now it's stopped doing its thing. So there is another DXF file conversion. So I'd be very happy now that this standard, and you can do all of your editing in that format if you want, or save it as another test file. And it's now, if we look up here, it's now become Test LCD, and we now know we can save it in any format we like. So I'd be very confident that this is a very stable file that's cleared off with some errors that were stopping us working with it confidently. So it's one way of just testing your drawing. If you find a drawing becoming unstable, there is a way around the problem. We haven't lost any base information here, but some of the subtle things like these poly lines were in fact hatched, but you can always go back and hatch again. So these construction lines and others all moved across very happily. So I hope you find that an interesting technique to fixing up a problem you might, we hope, rarely come across.